Hey, I'm Chris from Make Everything, and today we're talking about vices. Different types, and we're going to go through my collection here at the shop. Check it out. Now, when you hear the word vise, something probably pops in your head that looks something like this. Now, this is kind of a standard bench vise, as you would call it. This is a mechanics vise. It has a little anvil section on the back that you would hammer on. It closes, it holds work, you can cut and grind and do all sorts of stuff once it's held in the jaws. Now, there are really four major categories of vices. You've got machinist vices, mechanics vices, post vices, and woodworking vices, but we're not really going to stick to just those four groups. I'm going to talk about all the different types of vices that I have and hopefully answer some questions that you might have about, what a vise that you may have seen is meant for and what it does. So let's get right into it. So a machinist vise is going to be something like you see here. Now, machinist vices were made less as a tool that would be beaten on, like more of a mechanics vise, and more as a precision piece of equipment for work holding. So they're made to a higher standard in terms of quality. They're a little more precise. This here is the Chaz Parker that I restored in another video on my channel. And here behind it is another Chaz Parker. Obviously, the difference between the two of these is this one has a swivel base and this one has a fixed base. This one would mount on the end of a workbench. And behind it is a large Prentice vise. Now, this vise would normally have a movable jaw on the back, but someone broke it and welded it, so that's a future restoration. Machinist vices come in all shapes and sizes. Anything from the early 1900s is pretty much what you're going to want if you're looking for one. I prefer them much more. The material is just so much better. The vices are just so much more stout. A vise like this or this weighs upwards of 80 pounds, which is if you were to go to buy one from like Harbor Freight, it's going to be a lot flimsier and thin. So a machinist vise, a little more precise, and not made to be hammered on. These are not made to be beaten on. And you can notice that they have no anvil section in the back, as opposed to something like this, which has a little anvil section meant to be sort of hit on from a hammer blow if you're straightening out material or whatnot. Now, moving along, you have what would be called a mechanics vise. Now, a mechanics vise is made more as a sort of versatile tool around the shop. So mechanics vices typically have an anvil section on the back, and they come in all shapes and sizes. So like I said, sort of a standard sized mechanics vise that you would come across of in a home shop is something like this. Now, these typically even have a little hardy hole here that you can put a wedge tool in if you wanted to like split little pieces of wood on it. Right here, this is a Wilton Bullet style vise. So on a Wilton style vise, instead of seeing the lead screw on a rectangular shaft like this or like this, you actually have a round shaft, and the purpose of that is to keep dust and debris out of it. Wiltons are generally considered a more precise vise. This one is a Wilton 1750. It's a little bit unique looking in that it has this anvil section on the back, and I'm pretty happy to have it. Another type of mechanics vise that you're going to come across is a multi-vise. Something like this. Now, a multi-vise has the ability to spin, and with that ability to spin, you can clamp flat material over here, or if you spin it over, you can clamp pipes and other round material on this side. These things seem like a gimmick, I will say that. The first one I bought, this little blue one, we use all the time, and when I found this big one at a garage sale, I had to buy it. Mechanics vices are great because they are made to be beaten on. You can hit material on here, you can grab material and beat it over the jaws. These things are going to be a little more robust and a little less refined than the machinist vices, and they're great for an all-around workhorse in the shop. Now, sort of a subset of the machinist vise is what would be called a drill press vise. Now, drill press vices come in all shapes and sizes, and they all have sort of different features that you can come across. So like a drill press vise like this Dayton is actually made to be tilted. So this is really not precise enough to be a milling vise for a milling machine, but if you needed to drill a hole on a specific angle, you can camber this thing up, lock it in place, and drill, and it'll get you that angle. Now, a more traditional drill press vise is going to look something like this, or if you have a smaller drill press, something like that. What's great about these is they're usually flat on the sides. So what I like to do is if I have to drill into any round stock, I can clamp it and turn it on its side and drill straight down. Same goes for these larger ones. You can see there are actually some spots where people have drilled into the side of this one. So a drill press vise is great if you're going to be drilling into a lot of small stock. I actually never bolt these down. I always just kind of leave them around, and I keep them on my drill presses so that I can use them if I need them. A more traditional bolt down style, even though it's a cheap Chinese import, you have something like this that you would bolt down to your drill press, clamp your material, and drill your holes. These are great knockaround vices to keep around the shop. You'll find that you use these especially for drilling, but you can use them for filing and other stuff because they're so easy. You know, they basically act like a stationary clamp. A set of pretty unique vices that I have in the shop are these quick release vices. I picked up all three of these from an auction in a lot, and they were very inexpensive. I probably paid about $25 for all three of them, and I found that I use them a lot. Now, these I don't think are rigid enough to use for a milling operation. I've actually never tried them on a milling operation, but what you can imagine is you put your work in there, and then by pushing this plunger in and then hitting this cam, you're going to lock that piece of work in there, and it actually gets a really great hold. These are fantastic when I'm doing restorations and stuff, and I need to clamp odd parts. Sometimes you'll see these in the videos. They're also great when you're doing any sort of repetitive drilling. You can really quickly put a part in and clamp it, drill your holes, and then take it back out and move on to the next part. This and this both use this sort of piston style where they're really fast, but this quick release vise uses a little slower action. You turn a wheel over here and it moves the jaw in, and then once you get the jaw moved in, you turn this handle and it activates a cam and it locks that piece of material in there. So pretty unique. I had never seen them before. I picked them up at this auction, and after I got them, I use them all the time. So if you think something like this would work for you, I suggest looking on eBay for quick release vices. You'll be able to find some stuff like this, and they actually usually go for a pretty reasonable price. Here's another style of angled vices. This is what's called a universal vise. This is a Brown and Sharp. Now this vise can move in a myriad of directions. You would bolt this down, the bottom plate swivels, this top can go all the way up to 90 degrees, and the top can also swivel. This piece in particular is in need of a restoration, so I'm going to be doing some work on this coming up soon. But for now, I am kicking it around the shop, and I've used it a couple of times. These are awesome if you need sort of like one vise that can give you the work holding ability to do weird stuff on your mill or your drill. A universal vise is the way to go. And on something like this, the handle is removable, very similar to what you would see on a milling vise, which is what we're going to get into next. So all these vices that you see here are milling vices. Now, milling vices are made to be extra precise, to hold your work really well, so that while you're milling, you have as little chatter as possible. Now, the milling vise that everybody knows, because they see it on a lot of people's machines, is a Kurt vise. This here is a Kurt D60. I know it doesn't look as nice and blue as the ones that you see on some of the nice CNC machines, like the guys like John Saunders have, but you know, the principle is the same. With Kurt vices, and right here is a Loctite vise made in Japan. They have a wedge system that when you tighten down, the jaws actually tighten downward towards the base. And when you have something like that, what it does is it keeps your work from moving upward as you tighten it. A traditional vise like this, or this Grizzly over here, when they grab the material, sometimes what they can do is they can push the material up a little bit. So I prefer to use the Kurt or the Loctite vise, but this Grizzly import and this vise, which I can't identify, which I would love to know what it is. If anybody knows, leave a comment. Are great stout vices for the milling machine. I use these all the time. I got these three at auctions. I paid $10 for the Kurt, $10 for the Loctite, and I want to say $20 for this big boy. So for milling, you definitely want to get yourself a milling machine vise, you know, sort of something specific, something that's going to be a little bit more robust, and it's going to keep that chatter to a minimum when you're cutting metal with an end mill or a face mill like this. These two little vices here are what some people call hobby vices. Basically, these are just cheap little vices that this one mounts to your table with a clamp, so it's easy to move around. And this one you would bolt down to your table. This one is from Harbor Freight, and it has different features on either side. You'll see I use this one a lot when I am filing knives. It's nice, you can grab material. It holds pretty well. It has a little anvil, so it is made to be kind of hammered on, but I wouldn't go crazy obviously because it's so small. But it does have some features in the jaw. You can grab bar and pipe and stuff. So these things are great to kick around. You know, they're not expensive at all. This is a Vise, which is a pretty well-known name for a vise company making these sort of swiveling vises that are also multi-position. They're more geared towards sort of craft and model work, but they are great to have. This one has plastic jaws, so you don't have to ever worry about marking up your work. Having these big vises in your shop are great, but having small vises like this around is definitely important, because when you need to hold on to tiny stuff, you don't want to necessarily clamp it in one of these massive vises and crush it. Sometimes you need to hold on to delicate work and not mark it up with plastic jaws like this. Similarly, on the topic of not marking up your work, there is this sort of wooden vise clamp that I made. I got this idea from Bob Terzuola, who is a knife maker, and in one of his books he talks about how he took a woodworking clamp and mixed it with a Vise base and made a really versatile non-marking vise. So I have actually a video on my YouTube where I take a small vise from Harbor Freight and basically one of these clamps and make one of these up, and these are fantastic. I like to kind of hold weird shaped work in this because you can adjust this woodworking clamp in a lot of different ways, and then you can move it around. So, and again, this is never going to mark your work up because these jaws are wood, so these are also great to have. So this is a woodworking vise. Now, woodworking vises are typically mounted in a workbench so that they are flush with the top of the workbench, and they often have a dog that pops up out of them so that you can have holes in your workbench and you can clamp material in this direction totally flat. But what's nice about a woodworking vise is you would normally line a woodworking vise with wooden jaws. Now with wooden jaws, you can clamp a board in like something like this, and if I wanted to use a planer to plane this down and make it flat, I can have a really nice hold in it in this vise, and I don't have to worry about it marking up the material. Now, woodworking vises come in all shapes and sizes. I will caution you though, if you're gonna buy a cheap one, make sure it has an Acme style screw and not like a bolt looking screw. The cheap ones from Harbor Freight have basically a bolt as the vise screw, and they really just don't hold as well as these older Acme threaded ones. Woodworking vises like this can go for a lot of money on Craigslist. People think that they're worth a freaking fortune. Honestly, if you are on the fence and you can't find one used, look into buying a high quality new one. They have great features. You can usually have a quick release and pull them out. But don't be discouraged by the used prices on these. For some reason, woodworking vises are marked up like a fine antique when bench vises are kind of sold cheaply. So woodworking vises are great. They're great for drilling and sawing, and they're absolutely worth having in the arsenal with the rest of the stuff to hold work in the shop. All right, so this is a post vise. Now, I did a restoration on this vise as well on my channel, and a lot of people ask me what the difference is between a post vise and a regular vise, and why you would want a post vise for blacksmithing. Now, post vises were designed around the blacksmith. They are made to be hammered on. Most of these old ones, these are forged. All three of the ones you see here are at least 100 years old. And they are antiques, but they are also completely workable antiques that should be used and brought back into service. Now, the reason that you would use a post vise, if you take a traditional vise, like this one, right? And now, obviously, this is a very small vise, but imagine this section right here. Now, imagine you had a piece of material clamped in there, and you are hammering down on the top of that material. All the force is going to be on the screw and whatever metal is holding in to the fixed side of the vise. Now, all of that load is going to be put down on there. When you have a post vise, when you clamp a piece of material and you hammer on it, all that load gets transferred down to the ground. So post vises are made to be stationary and to be beaten on by a blacksmith. Another thing about post vises is that they use usually a very large lead screw, and the purpose there is that when you have a hot piece of metal, you want to be able to take it out of your forge and get it clamped up really quickly. So maybe a quarter turn or less to go from open to close. That's also why you have this large spring on a post vise. Post vices are essential in a blacksmithing shop. They're great, and if you ever come across them at like an antique sale or garage sale, don't pass them by. They are absolutely awesome, and you don't need to be a blacksmith to use one. I use this one around the shop all the time on all sorts of different things. All right, that about does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this. I really love old tools like this. I've had a great time collecting the stuff that I have, and if you watch my videos, you've seen that I use almost all of these things in my projects. You know, I run a shop that does a lot of different types of things, so I have found it necessary to have a lot of different types of equipment so that I never have to say no to doing a certain type of work. Don't be afraid about all the different types that I have. You don't need this many vices, but you know, get yourself something good, get yourself something that, you know, maybe has some age to it, so it's got that weight, and you know, the history behind it is important. I really do love to know that, you know, some of these vices over here are over 100 years old. Can you imagine the work that was done over the last 100 years on some of these pieces of equipment? I mean, it's crazy to me to think that for that amount of time, people have been using these tools and more or less using them in the same way. So I really enjoy this stuff. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you want to see a specific type of vise that maybe I have and didn't show, let me know. If you have any questions about, you know, where I get this type of stuff, feel free to ask me that down below. People seem to be consumed with how to get used old tools, and I am more than happy to answer those questions. So again, just let me know. Follow me on Instagram at MakeEverythingShop if you want to see more stuff like this, behind the scenes stuff. And follow my friend Chris Cash at Mount Phillips Metalworks, because he has helped me identify some of the blacksmithing vices that I have, and he's a great asset if you're looking for blacksmithing equipment. So thanks again for watching. If you liked the video, like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, and hope to see you on the next one. Thanks.